Hello everyone. So today we will be doing a deck building guide 101 to help you new players out there on how to build this deck. So to get things started, this game is basically a comparable game to a Hearthstone game mode, which is Hearthstone Battlegrounds. I think I haven't played the game, so I'm not really sure. But from a person, there's a person who told me that the only difference between the Hearthstone Battleground and this game is in Battlegrounds you have a shared pool of cards wherein all players are getting their cards there, while here you can make your own pool of cards. Hence the deck creation. Okay, without further ado, let's go to the deck creation. Also before that, I forgot, sorry. Here we have a locked cards. What are locked cards? So basically, these are cards that um, all players have. So regardless of the deck that you have, these cards will be added to the card pool. So you will be drawing them. Take note that every player will have their own locked cards. So in a game, you can have this all, or you can pull all of this four death birds, and your opponent can also pull four death birds at the same time. So there's no sharing of cards. You can just browse through this list just you to familiarize yourselves what are in the pool and what can help your deck in the long run, right? So um, onto the deck creation. Let's start from scratch. Um, Starting point, you will see that you have these four slots at the top. So these are the, let's say, the categories of what your deck will be consisting of. Each of this category will be having, you will be selecting 10 cards, 10 type of cards, not exact number of cards, but the type of cards. So we have three slots for the heroes and then one slot for neutral. Every deck should have is required to have this neutral card, right? So in this example, we will be focusing on creating a Hela deck, a basic Hela deck. Okay, so let's start with Hela. Okay, click there. So Hela there. Okay, so here, starting with Hela, I'm removing all the cards so that you can see better how this deck creation works. Okay, um, as you can see, it's being highlighted here. There's these two slots for two cost cards and two slots for three, for four, five, and six. And every time you click it, it automatically gives you all the available cards, goes to the available cards that you can choose to put in those slots. So as I've mentioned earlier, in every category, you will be having 10 cards. So these are the 10 cards. Um, how this gameplay goes is during the game when you're playing, as you know, you're upgrading your shop, right? For let's say at the start of the game, your shop is at level 2. The pool of cards that you will only be getting are only coming from those two cost cards. So when your shop is at level 3, you will also be getting from the three cost cards as well as two cost cards. And as it so meaning as your shop level goes up, there's also more cards that the card pool is getting bigger. So you might get less chance to get the cards that you want. So this deck guide will help you minimize or at least remove those unwanted cards, right? So for Hela, let's start. Um, I'm just going to make the basic Hela deck. So for the two cost card, I suggest you get this Frost Giant because it's a really big body that is needed for your deck, and then this Blood Axe. We'll get four of them because this is Hela focused deck, right? We don't need this Hush. Hush is basically used to for another type of deck, but not this one. Wait, I clicked the wrong button. Let's go back to that. Okay. Um, for the third slot, um, I would choose Destroyer. This is one of our win condition, and then Frost Beast as one of the fodders that we will be using so that we don't to maximize our win condition. Next, for the four slot, we would need Curse as part of another win condition, and Ebony Blade. We only will put two Ebony Blade. Oh, the Blood Axe, I need two only. We don't need a lot of equipments, right? Drawing a lot of equipments might sometimes be clogging up your deck. That's why we limit those cards. Only when you really need them, or at least if you, let's say, you only have a few equipments in your deck, so you might want to put four copies of them. But in this instance, I'm spreading out the equipment pool, so I'm putting two only. For the fifth card, fifth cost, I will get Hela, the main component of this deck. Um, I should really have more, but she's expensive. Next is Malekith, or actually any of these two, Loki Scepter or Malekith. We really don't need them for this type of deck. So we will only put one card because this game requires you to put at least one card on each of these slots. You cannot totally remove them. So this is just a fodder space. Next one here, Power of the Gods. We might need two, and Law of Free probably two, because this one will help your Ragnarok character cards, especially those with armor. So this will actually help Frost Beast and Frost Giant. They can be one of your win conditions also if Frost Beast, Frost Giant, and Luffy are actually in the deck at the same time. Okay, so next. So now that we have formulated the idea of what we wanted to do with this deck, the other three categories that we are using should actually just be there to complement your main purpose of your deck. So don't focus on putting all four cards of the same card again. Let's say, let's just go here. Let's say this one. Do you really need an Okoye in your deck? If or any of these two cost cards, do you really need any of them? If you don't, just put in one copy of the thing that you of the card that you think will mostly benefit you from the start of the game. Let's say Okoye. I would want just one Okoye, and then Ghost is useful in every situation. So normally I just put four. Next, on the three cost, I don't want any Hokai. It won't be needed in this deck. I don't need a Wasp. I don't need Taskmaster or Rivals. So might as well just put on equipments because these things will be helping me out in the long run. So Heavy Shackles is actually very good. This one will just put them on your Frost Giant or Frost Beast. We don't, as you can see, this one is a yellow card. Check here. Do we have any yellow card that we actually need? We don't, right? So it's not useful to have aim bomb. So let's just put um, Taskmaster for a filler. Next, on the slot, um, fourth slot, these are just fillers. You can put anyone you want. So I'll just put this two just for the sake of it. And then here, um I want to have this silver sword. I'll put two copies because this will help me in the long run. It gives attack boost. So the main purpose of this card is to help um destroyer or curse. So two copies is enough. Also, Ant-Man is just there to be a filler. Also, he has a good ability that at the start of the battle is dismantle a piece of your opponent's equipment. So it helps out a lot, especially on an opponent that is equipment heavy. Like, well, all decks normally use some form of equipment. So this will be useful in any situation. Just put one. You don't need to max it out. Also here, they're just fillers, so might as well just put a Thanos there and escape the void. Now for the other two slots, you might want to pick a character that you think will complement your Hela. So in my situation, I want cards that will die fast because the focus of Hela's deck is to be isolated, be the last person, so that, oh my god, what did I do? Oh, I think I have to restart. The focus of a Hela deck is to um, make use of this ability, Maverick. It deals damage equal to this card's power to all opponents. So Maverick is a skill that triggers the first time you only have one character on your battlefield. So basically you want all of your characters to die, except for Hela, of course, and build her power as much as possible. So since I lost that, um, no, I didn't lose the card, the setup that we did. Um, so since knowing that this is one of our win conditions, also Destroyer, Destroyer is also has a Maverick, which also means that you want all your other units to die. So I think that Captain Marvel is one of the better um, units category, as you may say here, because um, her cards for the two slot we have Kree Soldier. Just two. Two is enough because this is just the filler units. You only want them at the start of the game, but not till the end. Getting two of this card will help you at least two-star this if you get stuck with bad cards. So let's say at the first two rounds you got this one from the pool, and then up until the fifth turn you are still not getting any Hela cards. So at least at the back of your mind, you are quite safe that you're getting at least a two-star of this card. This card has a last word ability, right? So when it dies, it gives one damage to opponent. So meaning this is an expendable card. Again, you want this to die. So that's why we only need two copies, and then the others are just there for fillers. For second slot, we don't we can we need the Nega Bands. These are equipments that will boost your Frost Giant and Frost Beast, and just one copy of Miss Marvel, Carol Danvers. We don't really need many more copies. Here, we might want a Moonstone because this is an expendable item again, card again. We want it to die as fast as possible as to trigger the Maverick. It deals 4 damage to 3 opponents when it dies. So this is strong. Another again, two copies because this is only a support deck, a support category. Okay. We don't need any more units. Just put this one because equipments are much more versatile if they're just there for support. The next one, we can put Mr. Marvel and Talos, or Talos or Talos. So just one off. We don't need more of them. Um, you might be asking, this is an equipment again. Why we're not using it? It's since it's more versatile because our main units are not yellow cards. Remember, our cards are blue or red, so won't be helping us in the long run. Here, just put a Captain Marvel and a Cursor House. You won't be buying any of this, so just put one copy. So as to limit the card pool, we don't need to clutter it. Okay. So the next one, I really can't think of anything else good at this point. Let's just pick Iron Man for the sake of this tutorial. So again, since this is a support card, um, we only put we only will put one card of each so that we don't clutter the card pool. Here, nothing is really useful, so I'll just put one of each. Here, just one of each. Yeah, any card will do. Just put one of each. Here, um, Might use stealth armor in case we needed the annihilate, because this card can always attack the nearest opponent. So when you know your opponents, let's say you can put this on the far right, because normally your opponents will be putting their one of their strongest cards on the right, so that this guy can actually target it first. Always target that card. Also here has he has an assault. Assault. When you have assault, this card will always attack first, regardless of where he is. Really good card to snipe cards out. Here I might put two Centurion Blade. This has puncture, gives my red cards puncture. This will bypass their what do you call this? Their armors. Good for killing Thor decks. Here just put one of each because we really don't need them. So to summarize everything, when you are creating a deck, normally you will just focus on one character and make sure to use like four copies of those important units, except for this one. Hela, I would have wanted more, but I still don't have. Um, and use only one copy of those filler cards that you don't really need. Basically, that's it on what you need to learn on deck building. It's just a basic guide. It's not perfect, so other people might have a different opinion on how to create decks, but this is what I've seen that's working best at the moment. Because when I'm putting, let's say here, I'm gonna put all of the cards. Let's say I wanted to shift in between, let's say in the middle of the game, I wanted to shift it to Captain Marvel. It might work for you, but for me at the moment, it doesn't really help out because it just clutters the card pool. The more cards they're in, remember, this is all random, right? It's all random, but you can help your chances to get the cards you want. So just put them at the minimum number, right? So basically, that's it. Hope you guys like this video. See you on the next video I'm gonna make. All right. Thanks for watching.